welcome to the first session of the Principles of Quality Management. In this session, I would like to talk a bit about the history of quality management, also called Total Quality Management or TQM for short, how it impacts on organisations, what it means for the average worker, and finally an introduction to what ISO 9000 is all about. Quality management has been around for a long time in one way or another. However, the focus was initially on inspecting the product at the completion of production to ensure only good products were actually sent out. The problem with this approach is that it was very labour intensive and often resulted in bad products being missed and sent to the customer. People get tired, and when they repeat the same thing over and over, they can lose concentration. And that's what happened occasionally there too. The Japanese car industry, following World War II, first started to consider that quality was much more than just checking it after it was made. The focus needed to be on building in quality throughout the manufacturing process. Checking quality after the product was made was counterproductive, as it would involve reworking the item or even scrapping the item. This rework or scrapping costs a lot of money, and that could have been avoided if quality was built into all aspects of production, not just at the end of production. The first article in the workbook provides a good overview of the various definitions of quality. So quality impacts on all of us, no matter what the organisation is or what your role is in that organisation. I stated in the introductory video that we may not always call it by the name quality management. It may simply be following procedures, sometimes called standard operating procedures, or policies, or just your job description. Often we learn on the job through someone more senior telling us and showing us how things are to be done. So no matter what our job is, the owners of the business, or the people you report to, or even yourself, will want to make sure that the products, the services or processes you are involved with are made or undertaken to the highest possible standards. This is frequently because many organisations rely on customers to buy their products and or services, and customers generally do not want to buy something that offers low quality. Someone coming into a cafe, for example, would like good quality food as well as good service to go along with that. Someone approaching a government agency would expect accurate information in a reasonable time frame. So even if you don't have external customers, you are still expected to provide accurate, neat and timely information to someone else internally. Quality, therefore, belongs to all of us in every situation. During the history of quality management, there have been many people who have influenced the adoption of quality into organisations in some way. The first video in the workbook provides an overview of the quality gurus that have been major influences in some way. They include W. Edwards Deming, Joseph Duran and Philip Crosby. The workbook will ask you to make some notes on the key concepts that each person highlights. Deming in particular has had a major influence, and he also had a 14-point plan of quality management. Many of those points we will discuss in more detail during this subject. Once you've read the articles and watched the videos to this point, you should have a pretty good understanding of what quality is all about. The other major component of this week is to introduce the ISO quality standards. The ISO was established over 70 years ago and has a membership of 162 national standards bodies, including Standards Australia. There is an excellent article on the ISO in this session's content, and you will find out that there are 7 main principles that the ISO focuses on. First is customer focus, second is leadership, third is engagement of people, fourth is a process approach, number 5 is improvement, number 6, evidence-based decision making, and number 7 is relationship management. Most of these principles we will examine in more detail as they govern what quality management is all about. Another concept we covered during this session is the plan, do, check, act cycle. This is linked to my earlier statement regarding continuous improvement in the introductory session. The notion here is one of planning to make a change, taking a series of actions to implement the change, checking to see what you've done actually works, and then acting on the change on a more permanent basis. The whole cycle can then start again, which is the concept of continuous improvement. So I hope you enjoyed the content of this session, and I look forward to talking to you next week.